walk outside and feel like the heat was unbearable, even early in the morning. Okay, my speech is climate change is the biggest threat today, and I will explain the causes of climate change and its serious impact on the environment, human health, and economy, and also why it is the biggest threat we face today. What is climate change? Climate change refers to long-term changes in temperature, in Earth's temperature and weather patterns, mainly caused by human activities. For example, burning fossil fuels can release greenhouse gases. Why it is the biggest threat? Climate change is considered the biggest threat today because it affects every part of our lives. It is the global impact that affects all countries, not just for some regions. And its long-term impacts that can make problems such as poverty and food shortages, or even worse. Here are two examples for environment impact. The first one is rising temperature. This chart shows temperature rise since 1850 compared to per-industrial levels. And in the early years, temperatures were relatively stable for some small changes. However, in around 1950, there is a clear upward trend. Data from different scientific organizations all show the same patterns, which makes it reliable. In recent decades, especially after 2000s, the temperature increase becomes much faster than before, reaching over 1.2 degrees Celsius. Overall, this chart clearly shows that the Earth is warming and highlighting the seriousness of climate change. The second environment impact is rising sea level. Rising sea level is an obvious effect of climate change. And this chart shows rising global sea level change from 1993 to 2024. I think this is the wrong number, it's 2024. And we can see a steady upward trend over time. It has increased by more than 10 centimeters. And according to the World Meteorological Organization, it has reached a record high in recent years. And this image is what it really looks like in real life. Homes are flooded and waves are crushing to communities. People are losing their safe place to live. This is the real impact of rising sea level. How climate change impacts health? There are two examples. The first one is air pollution. Climate change is harmful to human health because it makes the air worse. First, rising temperatures increase air pollution like ozone and smog. These can cause chest pain, asthma, and even early death. Second, more carbon dioxide leads to longer allergy seasons. And there is more pollution in the air, so people may have stronger allergies and breathing problems. Finally, changes in weather like humidity and wind spread harmful particles more easily. This increases the risk of lung disease and heart problems. So in conclusion, climate change damages air quality and this is very harmful to our bodies. The second one is food security. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, climate change affects food security and human health. First, it reduces food production, making food more expensive and less available. Second, extreme weather and pests damage crops, lowering food quality and leading to poor nutrition. Finally, higher CO2 levels reduce important nutrients like protein and vitamins in crops. Overall, climate change makes food less available and less healthy. Harming of global economy. Climate change has a strong impact on global economy. Extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and more severe, damaging infrastructure and disrupting businesses. For example, in 2023, according to National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the United States experienced 28 major climate disasters, causing about $92.9 million in losses. These disasters damage farms, buildings, and roads, also increase costs for insurance and health care. This clearly shows that climate change creates serious economic problems worldwide. Counter-argument. Some people may say that other issues like war or economic crisis are more urgent. That is true. Those are serious problems. However, climate change actually makes those problems worse. It can lead to resource shortages which increase conflict. It can damage economics and create instability. So ignoring climate change will only create bigger problems in the future. In conclusion, climate change is the biggest threat today because it affects our environment, health, and future. It is not just a problem for scientists or government, but for all of us. We must take action now by saving energy, reducing waste, and protecting the environment, because today's choices will shape our future. This is my speech. Thank you.